Welcome to the Sports Show. Mike Max, Patrick Royce, Lavelle E. Neal, and the one and only Sid Hartman. Where to start this week? There's so much going on. I mean, we've got Kevin Love. Some people have said is going to be traded. You've said no, he'll be in camp. Christian Ponder. Some people have said.
Were you ever wrong?
Some people said Christian Ponder won't play for the Vikings. You said no, he'll be the starter. Looks like that's coming right. It's tracking well. What else is there out there?
Of course, you're a genius. One thing about you, you've never been wrong in your life.
Never wrong. Where do you want to start? You want to start Twins, Vikings? Where do you want to go?
How about me picking the draft choice? That didn't mean anything, huh? How about the Garnett story I broke? How about
what Garnett story?
I broke more stories than you broke in your life.
That's true. More than I've broken bones. So where do you want to start tonight?
All you guys.
Yeah. So where do you want to start there?
Pardon me?
Where do you want to start tonight, Scoop? What do you got?
Where do you want to start?
Vikings. Happy, not happy?
I don't think you know anything yet. I want to see what happens in these 2 road games.
Yeah, but even then, what are you going to know?
And you'll know something. You'll know what the defense can do. And they play on the road to St. Louis. St. Louis is a pretty good team.
Okay.
Kansas City, with the coach there, he'll do everything he can to make him look bad. I'll guarantee you that.
Can you read me because of Brad Childress?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why
are you laughing, Lavelle?
I think the 3rd exhibition game's kind of instructive.
That's the one.
The 4th one, nobody plays. Although Teddy will probably get to play 3/4 of that one because they're not going to play Ponder much. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do Kansas City. But they looked very good offensively last night. Castle looked good. Bridgewater looked great against the 3rd teamer. So
he's supposed to look good.
They got to be optimistic about the offense. I don't know. Should we be concerned that none of them didn't make any difference? It was the 1st team, 2nd team, or 3rd team that couldn't stop the run? I don't know if we should be nervous about that or not.
I left Target Field last night right at 10 o'clock. I was listening to the game on the Vikings game on the radio. It's the 4th quarter. It's before Bridgewater made this apparently the greatest pass ever thrown in the history of NFL. And I'm hearing in the background people chanting Teddy, Teddy in a
and you'll keep hearing people chanting Teddy,
exhibition
Teddy.
Game. They're chanting Bridgewater. Paul Allen's orgasmic on the radio. He completes his bomb. Oh, he left too much time on the clock for Teddy.
Well,
really,
actually,
it's exhibition.
The best pass he threw, Adam Thielen dropped. So
yeah, that would have been a touchdown. That would have really been an exclamation point, boy, for both of them.
That was a great throw.
Yep.
Well, they were yelling for Kramer, too, when Tarkington was here, so.
And they were yelling for Ponder when McNabb was here.
And I'll tell you what.
Let me say that Sid, that
Ponder will leave here, and he'll do something for some team.
Yeah, he'll carry a clipboard.
Here's the point. He won a division title with a good offensive line. I got the figures in the paper this morning.
And a record-setting running back.
And when the offensive team stunk, he stunk.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I'm not saying he's a great quarterback. Nobody said he was a great quarterback when he was drafted.
He's certainly not as bad as people make him out to be.
That's for sure.
I agree with Patrick, though. The thing about Ponders, in this day and age, accuracy from the quarterback position is paramount, and Ponders not accurate enough. And how can you not have a good season when you have like the greatest running back in the league running behind you? Play action should be a field day with the defense.
It is a phenomenal thing in pro football now. If you don't complete 65% of your passes, you're inadequate. And in the day, when Tommy Kramer and the fellas were around, if you completed half your passes, you were considered phenomenal. Now they throw a lot more short passes than they did, but I mean, you look down at the crawl in an exhibition game last night. Aaron Rodgers, 11 for 13. Nobody throws any interceptions. Nobody throws any incompletions. You better complete 65% of your passes, and that's Ponder's problem.
Furthermore, I think they had a terrible offensive coordinator last year.
Musgrave?
And a terrible quarterback coach. And I think that Norv Turner makes these quarterbacks better.
We'll find out. I saw it was interesting before the game. I saw he and Christian Ponder back in the tunnel. Turner and Ponder having a long conversation about whatever, and I just thought it was interesting to see those two visiting for that long and that in depth.
Right. He wants to be traded, but no team is going to pick up his guaranteed contract.
No, they should do the right thing and release him.
Yes.
let him go someplace and maybe be the second. Maybe there's some place where he could be the second teamer, and then if somebody gets hurt, he gets to play.
I have another question here. The other thing about completion percentage. How's that going to be affected this year by all these illegal contact penalties that they're calling? They're going to have receivers are going to have free run in the secondary because there's not going to be any contact.
They already do.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Well, quarterbacks.
But now they're calling.
Yeah, quarterbacks should have no problem completing 60% of the passes.
How about this too? Anytime you touch a guy's face mask,
Yeah.
I hope all these penalties they're calling are just.
I've never seen anything like it.
I think they're trying
Preseason
to. I
penalties.
think they're trying to get guys to stop putting their hands in people's face. But if they call this many penalties in the regular season, it's going to drive you crazy.
It's like the year of the balk. Do you remember that? The one year they called the balk in 1989
How
or
about
whatever.
last night, the two pass interference penalties? The one on the Viking guy, the 30 yards for no reason, and then the one on the winning drive was
To go back to the quarterback,
knocked the ball away.
go back for quarterback performance. If Castle was so great, why did Kansas City get rid of him?
Where are we at? here
Alex
with this
Smith.
thing?
What are you mad at him for?
Yeah, Castle's been okay.
He's been great.
fine.
I said, if he was so great,
Nobody said he was great. Nobody has accused him
No.
of greatness. Ponder isn't playing for one reason. He stunk.
yeah.
That's the reason he's not
He
playing.
stuck in
It
212. You hop on 212. Did he sink in 212
He was
when he had a good offensive line?
He was so-so.
They were 10-6.
Yeah, he was okay for about a month at the end
He'll
of the
come
season.
back.
There's got to be a name for
How
this
know
mountain.
you guys?
This mountain of people that sit as defendant when they go down. You know, it's got to be named after like Denny Green or Dan Munson or something. Of guys who tried to back on the way out.
And then there's that point, that separation
I
point.
just
Such
wanna
as
say,
if
without-
Bridgewater plays well
without
early here,
getting-
there'll be a separation.
Without getting
right.
angry about it, Matt Castle isn't playing because anybody thinks he's great. He's playing because the guy that preceded him was not good enough. That's why he's not playing.
He's in the bottom
That's
third
why
tier of
Castle's
quarterbacks.
playing.
Well, we'll see. Wait till the season starts.
Then what? What do you think happens? What's your prediction?
I think they'll lose 4 of their first 6 games. What do you think of that?
You do? And then what?
They'll
You
be
think they're going to
Then a
beat
quarterback change? Or
Are
what
they
do you
going to
think?
beat the Patriots?
Do you think there'll be a quarterback
I
change?
don't know
They'll be
what will
underdogs.
happen.
They'll be underdogs in 4 of their first 5, so
Yes.
that wouldn't be a surprise if they were to lose 4 out of 5.
More insightful insight when we come back. Stay with us.
Then they'll be yelling for Bridgewater.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. And Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing.
Quality. It's the result of shared values. The joy found in an honest day's work. Respect for true American craftsmanship. And the need, not the want, to get things right. It's the result of remembering your roots. Being forever humbled by how far you've traveled and forever hungry to push on further. Quality is a result. Quality is who we are. Cambria. Family owned, American made.
It's the meal of the day at Subway. Now get a 6-inch sub, chips, and a 21-ounce drink for just $5.50, featuring a different 6-inch sub each day, like the turkey breast and Black Forest ham on Monday, the spicy Italian on Tuesday, the tempting turkey breast on Wednesday, the Italian BMT on Thursday, or the tantalizing tuna on Friday. It's the $5.50 meal of the day, all day, every day at Subway.
The Twin Cities' best Subaru deals are easy to catch at Luther White Bear Subaru. Take a look. Discover the new body style and better gas mileage in the all-new 2015 Legacy. Lease now for just $229 a month. Rather buy? White Bear Subaru has the all-wheel drive Legacy for under $22,000, plus financing as low as 1.9%. That's a beauty. I'm Dan Mullen, and thanks for watching. Luther White Bear Subaru, Highway 61, just north of 694 in White Bear Lake.
I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but your child has been hit by a drunk driver.
Don't drink and drive, because in real life, there is no rewind. Extra DWI enforcement is now on Minnesota roads.
See why more people are coming to Audi than ever before at Audi Minneapolis. Experience the legendary performance and handling of an A4 2.0 T Quattro. Lease yours for only $379 a month. Plus, Audi Minneapolis will make your first month's payment. Or try out the luxury and power of an A6. Lease for just $499 a month. The Summer of Audi event at Audi Minneapolis on 394 at General Mills Boulevard and at AudiMinneapolis.com.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs?
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983, and Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second-to-none happy hour, and great outdoor dining, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington, locally owned, nationally known, Hoyt's.
J.D. Hoyt's on your way to a game downtown, whether it's the Gophers, the Vikings, or the Twins, or the Timberwolves, or the Lynx. Stop by J.D. Hoyt's, say hi to Pat and the gang, and enjoy one of those great steaks and that cheese bread. Oh, yes, that cheese bread.
Hey, those people from Gaylord and Fulda and Pelican Rapids still come to ball games in August, don't they? The Twins had 32 on Friday and 35, and it was damn near. It was a real 35 last night.
And they announced 31 today.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people left after the rain, but
They buy their
After the second inning.
no, you go back in Twins history, 54 years. Even if they were drawing 8,000 a game, in August they draw 12 because the farm folks, the rural folks come. That's when they go to the ball game.
That's amazing.
September will be dead.
Tickets.
Yeah, it should be. When school starts, it should be a wasteland. The crazy part is because of this alleged threat of rain that forced a 40-minute delay today, they were able to get some more concession money out of the fans. That's what it did. It drove them to the bars.
Yeah, but it also screwed up. They decided to wait long enough to make sure it was going to rain. That was stupid. But
And then they had no problem in the second inning.
Right, because once the
7 runs.
once the lineup cards are handed to the umpire, it's in the umpire's hands to start the game. And I guess they were acting on information they were getting that rain was right on top of the stadium. So let's just wait it out, let it blow by.
They should have called Golden Valley. They should have called Golden Valley. I'm 5 miles away, and it wasn't raining.
I got to tell you, I went out west today. It was the darndest thing, from downpour to sunshine. I was supposed to play in the over 35 tournament tonight. Rain delay cost me my at-bats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, because the game before us got delayed, so then they had to play without me. So
Test will be what they draw next year.
yeah, now
That'll be the test.
Josh Willingham we saw this week. They traded him since the last show that we had. They've traded 4 guys this season. They've given up again this season. How do you forecast this thing?
I don't know. The one thing is season ticket holders love that room. What do you call that room?
The Metropolitan Club?
Yeah.
Or Champions Club or
Champions Club?
I think the society, I think the stadium will keep on drawing people.
I don't.
Maybe not as many as now.
I don't, because in April, May, and June it didn't.
Well, we'll see.
No, it's April, May, and it's going to be fine from Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Yeah.
But the fall and the winter, the fall and the spring are going to be terrible. They're going to go from 17,000 season tickets to 12, I would guess.
I would guess.
I agree. I think a lot of the fans who had wanted tickets for the All-Star game privilege are now going to back away. Unless the Twins have a awful offseason when they make some major major acquisition to get people to
somebody
buy
like Ricky Nolasco?
Yeah.
No, I said.
But how can you possibly make a major acquisition, because you can't sign a good free agent because anybody's going to pay. No one's going to. So now, and you don't have anybody to trade except for, I don't know, Buxton and Sano. You know, so you can't.
The only way we can do it.
Can I get a word in?
Hang on.
Hold on.
Let's get Sid's take on this.
Let me talk, will you?
Can I get a word in?
Let me talk,
You
will
and
you?
Ricey dominate the whole show.
Okay, go ahead. So now all three of us are on the hook for tonight.
Now I'm in trouble.
One thing I think is going to hurt them is the Vikings want to sell $121 million of SBLs. Is that what they call it?
Seat licensing.
I call it screwing the customers, but you can call it whatever you want to.
It's called shakedown. It's called a shakedown.
Yeah, right. Blackmail.
They've already sold $62 million.
Yep.
And some of those people that are buying those tickets are not going to buy season tickets.
For Twins, you mean?
For the Twins.
Because they're going to make a decision. Now, have you been in that thing where they take you through the sales, where they try to sell you tickets for the Vikings? That sales center where they take you through to try to say, you know what I'm talking about? Right next to the stadium, they've got this deal. I think you've been there. And you walk through like you're walking through the tunnel to all that. It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Well, they're doing a lot of good things there, the Vikings are. I think they'll have a heck of a stadium. If you went through that deal across the street in that building.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
And you see, if everything comes out the way that looks like, they'll have, I think the best thing to happen to them was a delay in getting to the stadium.
Because why?
Because they learned from Indianapolis, they learned from Dallas. They certainly learned a lot of things about marketing from Dallas, because they stole all of Dallas' stuff.
Yeah, it's called bring a gun out and put it up to somebody.
Louis wasn't going to renew when he found out it was going to cost him $9,500 a ticket, and they marched him through the thing, and he signed up. So
you know, one of the things they got there is they've got suites on the field. So you literally, the players are right there, and you got this little patio outside. I don't know how well you'll see the game, but it's pretty cool.
Well, you know what? The one thing that I'd be interested to see, because I think people go to Target Field to socialize, and I think half the people there aren't paying attention to what's going on the field
Probably
either.
Right.
So.
What's the nicest ballpark in modern era that you've seen?
See, I'm just a baseball guy, though.
Yes, I mean, nicest baseball park.
I love Pittsburgh. I think PNC Park is a fantastic
park. But you've
park.
seen them all now.
Yeah, I haven't been to San Diego. I haven't been to Cincinnati. Other than that, I'm a big fan of Pittsburgh. I like San Francisco's. I got Target Field third right now on my list of favorite ballparks in the league.
Take a break, come back, stay with us.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Allery's, the original St. Paul sports bar, now with 65 beers on tap.
Attention, please get a pencil. Announcing a hearing breakthrough, a microchip that is so small it can fit on the head of a pen, worn hidden entirely in your ear canal, making you hear clear as a bell. And it's proudly made in the USA. Do you feel left out of conversations? Is it difficult to hear words in noisy environments? Do others say that you listen to the TV or radio too loudly? Do you feel like a bother to others due to your problems hearing? If you answered yes, you may qualify for this new chip in the ear. Only 50 participants are needed to try this microchip, so get a pencil. Call now to see if you qualify. This revolutionary chip actually mimics the natural sound selection of the human ear. With multi-core microprocessors, technology used in the most advanced computers, sounds are analyzed and classified each millisecond, controlling noise and making speech clear. Do not wait. Call now to see if you qualify to wear this revolutionary new microchip.
In a world full of compromise, the Audi A3 takes a different path. Get uncompromised design, the style and presence of Audi in a lighter, smaller form. Uncompromised performance, a lightning-quick turbocharged engine, and race-bred S-tronic transmission. Uncompromised luxury with standard leather seating and panoramic sunroof. Lease your A3 for only $299 a month. Plus, during the Summer of Audi event, Audi Minneapolis will make your first payment. Stay uncompromised. Audi Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, stop on by, see Charlie and the gang. Test drive an A6 or an A8 or a Q7. Drive away a satisfied customer for all 4 seasons. Welcome back to the Sports Show. We started to touch on the Twins, and we turned into a little bit of a stadium conversation there. What happens here this offseason? What's the first move?
First move from what standpoint?
Twins. Who do they make a commitment to Terry Ryan? Does Terry Ryan make a commitment to them? Does Terry Ryan make a commitment to Ron Gardenhire?
Well, the Pohlads don't ever fire anybody. You almost have to commit Harry Carey.
Well, Bill Smith didn't kill anybody, and he got fired. But Bill Smith got fired.
Or at least demoted.
Yep.
Well, they didn't fire. Bob Pohlad won't fire anybody.
Bob or Jim?
Huh?
Bob or Jim?
Jim Pohlad said won't fire anybody. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
4 straight 9-loss seasons.
You guys know everything. I don't know.
Finally,
nothing.
we're asking you.
So,
he's come to his senses.
You guys know it all. So
we gave
I'm
you
the dumbest
question.
guy to ever live.
We gave you the question to answer. We teed it up for you.
I'm glad you come to your senses.
I don't know.
Hang on a second.
You don't know.
I don't know.
He don't know.
Yeah, okay, so Patrick, Byron Buxton gets a concussion. That's different in this day and age when somebody gets a concussion. How do you read it?
I don't think he's had any others, so there's a possibility that in 10 days he'll play baseball again if he clears it up. Everybody says, "Oh, shut him down for the season," blah blah blah. Well, if he clears the concussion thing, get him back on the concussion thing, get him back on the field. Probably means he'll have to go back to the fall league though if he clears, huh?
Either way, he's got to play fall league ball, I think, because the Twins thinks he's had a wasted season development-wise. So I think
ask you a question.
You're cutting me off. What do you want?
What's that Buxton done so far that makes him the greatest thing that ever lived?
Well, this year he's had a bad year because of the injuries he's had. But last year his numbers were up there with Mike Trout when Mike Trout was at low A. So it was on the same path. But this year's been a setback for him because he's hurt his left wrist, he hurt his right wrist, and now he's hurt his head.
Yeah. What's that Sano done that makes him the greatest thing of all time?
Because people evaluate prospects and they rate them in the top 10. Yeah. They rate them in the top 10, and these days, 90% of those guys make it.
Okay.
Back in the day when there was less information, more inaccurate scouting, the top 10 draft choices didn't make it. Now they make it.
I'm sure if the names were...
Meanwhile, Santana and Vargas, 2 undrafted free agents.
Well, no, they're not. They're kids that signed out of the Caribbean, so they're not undrafted free agents. They're signed, all of them from the Caribbean are signed.
They're doing better than
well, sure, because the other 2 guys have been hurt.
And then the other 2 guys are 20 and 21 years old. They're young. They're never going to come
up. By the way,
your point is
if their names were Ponder and Love, you'd be extolling their virtues.
They didn't get the money, not even close to what those other people got.
That's
so
why
that's
baseball,
a good indication.
That's why baseball likes the Caribbean, Sid.
Yeah.
They can sign these kids at 16 years old for most of them for a lot less money.
It's a very interesting pipeline.
By the way, I think there are hints here of a lineup. I think there are hints lost in the horrible pitching.
Because you know Santana, Dozier, Mauer, and Plouffe could step.
Yeah, I don't know about Plouffe, but I'm saying Vargas is going to be a DH and hit some home runs. He's going to be 160 strikeouts and 30 home runs.
Yes.
He's going to be the modern baseball player. Santana is a player. There's Polanco's going to be a player. And now if Sano and Buxton can, 2 years from now, they're going to have a lineup.
What do you
now all you got to do is get a pitching staff.
What do you do with Dozier? What do you do with Dozier? Is he a six?
I might put him at third base, or I might
by the way,
trade him.
Scott Diamond has got to be one of the strangest. A left-hander like that. I thought he'd have some staying power in the league, at least be a 500 pitcher.
12-9 a couple years ago.
Well, he's shut down our boys by the Reds. Reds picked him up. He shut down the AAA team.
He's gotten clobbered in 2 starts.
By the way, I hope Sid hasn't seen this. This will be a good column item for him. 2 leading hitters in the National League this morning. Justin Morneau and Ben Revere.
Ben Revere and Justin Morneau.
Although 323 and 316, we're getting back to when Yaz won the batting title at 301.
Michael Kadire is off the DL today for the Rockies.
Well, this club's got more former players playing for other teams in the league, I think.
He's not playing well, Mariano.
And doing well.
Although he's had some tough luck.
Vance Worley has a 2.5 ERA. Vance Worley.
Take a break, come back.
Why did you ever trade
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Case Law, for all your legal needs, not your typical law firm. And Griffin Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than to need us and not know us.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, Christian Ponder, the Wild, Zach Parise, the Timberwolves, Ricky Rubio, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins. Yep, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. Justin Bieber! Hey, I like him first. For details, go to ticketkingonline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. Beacon Bank, responsive, reliable, reassuring, you bet. A great partner to get into the corporate world with, or a small business loan, perfect. They can be your partner in your business aspirations and dreams. Beacon Bank, it's my bank. Welcome back to the sports show, the Gopher football team. We don't have complete access to their scrimmages, so we have to go a little bit by hearsay. Defense looks good, offense looks iffy.
Well, the offense looked pretty good in the last scrimmage. The quarterback had a very good day, and some receivers caught some balls. All I know is that the coaching staff is awful confident that they can play with most anybody.
Yeah.
And he talks about evaluating players. They're evaluating their personnel.
They got good running backs.
Huh?
They got good running backs.
Have there been a couple injuries?
Good running backs.
Nothing.
I think the quarterback's very good. I think they got a very good offensive line. They think the secondary is the best one they ever coached.
It is.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
I'm optimistic the secondary is really good.
The schedule at the end where they play those 4 teams out of 6 games is awful tough.
I don't mean to switch back on the fly, but I forgot to bring it up. Rob Manfred is now the baseball commissioner. What does that mean? Explain to the public what
it means. That the status quo, basically.
Yeah.
That,
if you like Seelig, you like Manfred.
He's Bud's guy, and Bud fought gamely to get him in there, and he's the labor peace guy. Reinsdorf wanted to take on the union again, and and Manfred doesn't. There's going to be a little bit of a battle next time. It's not going to be as smooth as it's been, but there won't be
too much money.
There won't be a strike.
Yeah.
There won't be a lockout.
The Players Association wants a little more money. The signals that Tony Clark, the Players Association head, are sending out right now all suggest that they're going to fight over some things. The one thing that the owners need to address among themselves is the local television contracts that some of these teams are getting. Because you got Yankees, Dodgers.
You mean disparity?
Yeah, Yankees, Dodgers, Angels, Rangers are signing for billions of dollars now with these TV deals, local TV deals, and the smaller markets like Minnesota, Kansas City.
They're still getting a whole lot, it's just relatively speaking.
Exactly, but I think the smaller market teams are going to say, look, we got to figure out a way to come up with an equation.
They're getting a third
out.
now, right? Yeah. I think a third goes into revenue sharing.
Will Bud Seelig be known more as the guy that oversaw the steroid era, or the guy that made great strides with interleague play and advancing postseason?
He's the best commissioner baseball ever had. From millions to billions, and that's all that counts.
Well,
the money.
I think he did change his legacy the last 5 years by fighting steroids, by basically paying for the biogenesis information and getting blood testing, and I think he changed his image by fighting.
I do too.
I think when he first stepped in as interim, he made some blunders and took some hits. And then I thought he rallied magnificently, and interleague players ended up being okay.
And the thing that he's got to say about him is he's got great passion for the game.
How dare you say that? You've been talking for hours. Every answer.
But he loved the game. He loves the game of baseball.
Yeah,
you can tell
he's a big historian. I had a chance to interview him for a Q&A, so I was in his office for an hour.
He's
really emotional about the history of the game. But
I
was asked the question.
The best thing is the owners loved him. and that was the most important thing. Got along with all the owners.
What is a commercial
See
supposed
everybody.
to do? Make money for owners.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quart surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. And Sound Point Audiology. Life is worth hearing.